Mic check, mic check. I still can't hear myself yet. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Skating Utes hockey broadcast here at the Salt Lake City Sports Complex. I'm Anita Tsuchiya. I'm here with my broadcast partner, Patrick McGann. And this afternoon's match, the Skating Utes women's D1 team is hosting the Air Force Academy Falcons. The Utes are in their home whites with the red lettering and the black pants and white on screen. And the Utes defending the goal on your left. And we're getting ready for the puck drop on center ice. The Utes starting lineup really quickly. The forward line is going to be 16 Brooke Burns, 18 Olivia Howell, and 26 April Walton. The two defenders will be 28 Alexander Bai and Madison Hunt. Savannah Champagne and Kathleen Hughes on their forward line. Their defenders will be Erin Firth and Riley Deans, and guarding the pipes for the Falcons is number 1, Isabella Horning. And we are off, ready to go. Not having any games, all because of the various COVID cancellations in the schedule. So I'm sure they're excited to be out here and ready to play. Keep it in, they're still in the Air Force zone, trying to get something started. Sends it down in behind the net. It looks like Olivia Howell. Oh, and it gets poked away. Still in the zone. Air Force is unable to clear it out. Still staying in, still staying in. Nice footwork by Bai to keep that puck in. Utah doing a little bit of cycling near the boards to the right of the air. But Olivia Howell kind of loses the handle on it. Puck trickles out of the zone, and Air Force manages to poke it loose, but then Utah manages to send it back in. Grace goes in the corner. And she brings it across the circle, cross two. And now looks like Howell. No, sorry, Dickman to Crookshank. To McCain at the high slot, but then puck manages to squirt. So Sam Griswold and Sarah Olson have been splitting time in the goal for the Utes. Samantha's getting the start tonight. And the puck trickles out of the... Looking for somebody to pass to. Nice poke check there by Gracie Caps. She keeps it in. She gets the puck away. She sends it around the boards, back to Caps. Oh, Caps loses the handle on it. Air Force picks it up, sends it back along the boards. Still fighting for it in the Air Force zone. Nice pick up there. Puck squirts loose. Katie Pliers picks it up. She skates it in, sends it back along the boards to Caps. Caps cycles it back to Hallie Hansen. And nice job of cycling along the boards here. Oh, and then the puck manages to squirt loose. And it's erased. Madison Hunt of Air Force picks it up in the Utah zone, fighting for it in the corner. Gracie Caps picks it up, skates it behind her own net, brings it up through the zone. Oh! Stevenson loses the handle on it, still fighting for it in the neutral zone. She sends it up to Gracie Caps. Nice heads-up play there. Gracie Caps carries it across the line, skates it in, skates it towards the net. A little bit too much traffic in front. And the puck comes out of the zone. So Utah regroups in the neutral zone, setting up the play. That looks like Bai carrying it across the neutral zone, across the blue line on the left wing. Looking for somebody to pass to, and then it gets knocked loose by Air Force, and Air Force has got a lone. Dean sends it around the back of the net. Bai picks it up, sends it up to Litzinger, who tries for a cross-ice pass, gets just ahead of Tori, but she skates it across the blue line, carries it in, sends it in towards the net, gets deflected off someone's skate. Walton looks for it. Walton looks for the deflection, and there she is! Litzinger right in the crease.
That's a great way for the Utes to come out and start their homestand once again after taking a nice long break. They get the first goal and their first game back.
Right, at 15:38 in the first period, Utah gets on the board. And it's been way too long, Patrick. We've been away from the rink for a long time.
I was actually going to mention at the next whistle. It's been over 2 months since this team's played on home ice.
Yeah, the women's team has just been hampered by this, the changing schedule. And of course, we want everybody to be safe, but it's tough when the schedule is changing seems like almost by the day.
Yeah, but for now, the Utes are going to stay home for a long time until the postseason at least.
We've got 6 home games in a row here. And carry it into the zone, and it gets in from the left circle. Didn't quite see who got that in. Nice little backhand slides underneath the pads of the goalie Horning for Air Horse. So Utah's on the board again at 15. Valerie is one of our scoring defenders. She's got good puck handling skills, and she can fly. All right. And oh, Utah tries to control puck in their zone. She kind of loses an edge there. Fighting for it. Oh, my mistake. I apologize on that second goal. That was number 18, not number 10, Olivia Howell. She's also another one of our defenders with really good stick handling skills. My apologies. Air Force carries the puck through the neutral zone. That's Erin Firth, carries across the blue line. She doesn't really have any help right now. To number 20, that's Michael. She carries across blue line, but then she loses the puck, and Air Force gains control. Hansen picks it up, skates behind her own net, getting something started here, gets the breakout going, sends it up into the neutral zone. Nice little back and forth passing. Oh, but then they lose the puck, turnover. And Air Force carries it in, but then it squirts right back out. Air Force sends it into the Utah zone. 13:42 left in the first period. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to hockey. At the ice rink with us. All right, puck gets sent into the Air Force zone. Gracie Caps, a face-off in the Air Force zone. 13:16 left of the first period.
The Falcon team.
Yeah, poor thing.
Today?
She's not only the lone goaltender, but she hasn't been the goaltender. This is her first suiting up. So Horning stepped in.
And hopefully Horning.
Small roster, so I think I noted 12 skaters and a goalie, so their roster's pretty small.
And it's very comparative to Utah, and Utah's still building as well, as this is only their second season of play.
Nice save by Griswold, but the puck kind of dribbles away and Air Force picks it up. Now the puck ends up. McCain has it, sends it back behind the net. Looks like to Weber. Oh, the puck trickles out right in the slot. And Dindo carries it out of the zone. Oop, not quite. Gets deflected. Madison Hunt with a wrist shot. Nice save by Griswold right in the chest protector. And she decides to hang on to it. Pretty even, according to
there are actually a couple of chances there where Air Force could have taken a 1-goal lead right away there off the bat here in the first period.
Yeah, Griswold's looking pretty sharp. She's had a couple of good chances. Call. Pass gets away from Air Force. I'm sorry, from Utah. So they're going to come back to the Utah zone and have another face-off to the right of Griswold. Not to her right, to her left. And instead of Howell, looks like that's going to be Dickman. Dickman versus, tries to set up the play. She does manage to clear the zone, and the puck gets deflected, and Tori's got the lead on it. She carries across the blue line. She's got Litzinger in the middle, but she's getting a little bit tied up by her defender, and the puck ends up coming out. Air Force sets something up. She carries it across the circle herself, across the slot, middle slot, goes for a wrist shot, and it goes in. Utah goal number 3.
Dickman had some distance between herself and the goaltender there, pretty far out. Thought, why not just put it on net? And good things happen when you put it on net.
Right, and her defender kind of faded off, like she had her in the corner, but. And that is Howell carrying it in the zone, I believe. Hansen, Hunt, and Horning, the Air Force goalie, decides to just cover that one up, and we'll have another face-off to her right. And taking the face-off. That was Riley Deans took the face-off. Air Force controls in their own zone. Carries it up across the blue line, sends it up ahead. And the other Dindorf, Caitlin Dindorf, fighting for the puck there. You've got a couple of siblings on this Air Force team. We've got number 6, Caitlin Dindorf, and number 24, Sierra Dindorf. Both gals looks like from controls in the neutral zone, tries to set something up. Hansen carries across the blue line on the right wing, into the corner, then across the slot. She's got time, she's got space. She decides to send it off to the corner, passes it off to Michael, who tries to send it back to her, but it gets poke check loose. Cruikshank in there fighting for it to McCain. McCain cycling back to Michael. Michael in the corners, nice centering shot, but nobody there. Gets deflected, and McCain has to pick it up in the neutral zone. Utah has to come out and regroup. 9 minutes, 12 seconds left of the first period. Utah leading 3-0. And Cruikshank grabs the handle on it, unfortunately for Horning. She almost had it. She lost her stick, and the momentum of the puck carried it in the zone. I believe that shot is going to be credited to Bai, correct? Number 28, Alexander Bai, across the goal line into the goal.
Looks like it might be Walton's goal there for Utah.
Yeah, so that'd be number 26 then, April Walton. 8:58 left in the period. Utah now leads Air Force 4-0.
Are dictating play against the Falcons, but rather than putting every shot they want on net, they're actually focusing on moving the puck, and that's actually a new development in the strategy from the coaching staff here at Utah. I mean,
it is kind of a new look, yeah.
They're playing around with a lot of different strategies, and so we can see some of that so far this afternoon from Utah.
And this is going to matter when we then, as we get close to the playoffs. All right, Air Force gets a breakaway. Nice wrist shot. Griswold deflects it, and let's see. Out to the blue line, cross the high slot. Drop pass. Nice little drop pass. That was to Primentel, who sends it behind the net. Dickman was there for the rebound, but her shot goes a little bit high. She sends centering pass again, kind of gets the heel on it, kind of doesn't get enough mustard on it. Caps with a shot on goal that's deflected by Horning. Caps sends it in deep to the corner. Plyer picks it up in the corner, sends it back to Dickman. She sends centering pass. Plyer's right there for the deflection, but the defender actually pokes the puck away. Nice poke check.
Nice defensive play there by Air Force. They collapsed in, and they took away the slot for the Utes there. As
Go in all by herself and roofs it. So goal number 4, Gracie. Goal number 5, I believe. Gracie Caps. Our scoreboard's a little behind. Which scoreboard should left in the period? Utah's now really starting to outshoot Air Force substantially. And as you said, they're trying to set up plays and not just have a free-for-all. Hansen picks it up behind the net, skates it back the other way. She's going for a little wraparound centering pass to Litzinger. Litzinger to Plyer Husinger, but she loses the handle on it. Still fighting for the puck there in the neutral zone. And Air Force sends it into Utah, but Utah zone, Utah controls. Tries to send it up to her teammate. It ends up in the Air Force zone. Madison Hunt from Air Force picks it up, but then she's got to fight for it with starts a cycle to Stevenson. And then Stevenson to back to Bye. Oh, and then Air Force managed to clear the zone. So Utah's got to come scoop up their own puck in their own zone. That looks like Howell picking it up in the Utah zone. And Air Force actually doing a pass from behind the goal line by Air Force, but it gets poked away. And Howell scoops it up, skates it across herself on the right. Not quite a one-timer, but a very quick wrist shot, quick release by McCain, and Horning makes the save. Both teams decide to take this opportunity for a line change. We're going to have seconds left in the period. Utah leads Air Force 5-0. And a bit of a scramble, but Utah does come up with a puck. Cruikshank carries it into the corner. And Air Force managed to actually clear the puck out of the zone, so Utah's got to go scoop it up. McCain grabs it, skates behind her own net, tries to get the breakout started. She gets a little bit hung up along the boards. Puck still kind of bouncing around a little bit in that middle area. Utah sends it up. Stevenson. Oh, my mistake. Hansen picks it up, but looks like it was Tori got her stick a little bit tied up by the defender, couldn't get any wood on it. Utah still controls, trying to centering pass. Air Force breaks that one up. Here comes Aaron Firth on a breakaway, and Air Force gets on the board with 3 minutes, 55 seconds left in the first period.
That was a nice move, real strong shot there. Put a top shelf there on Griswold. Nothing she can really do there when, it's just her still, but nonetheless, Air Force is not going to go away easy.
Yeah, Air Force is putting up a fight. I mean, they're not just taking it laying down. I think for Air Force, the key here is they don't seem to have more than one full line. A second and a half. I'm not sure they even have a full third. Poor things. All right.
And it also should be noted, I don't know if we've mentioned this yet on the broadcast, but this is the first year of the...
I think it was actually a couple of players who put everything together and got the program going again at Air Force.
And looks like it was Katie Plyer who cashed in on the empty net as we were talking, but...
And she's been parking herself in the crease waiting for those deflections. Thanks for spotting that, Patrick. It's been a while for me, too. All right. Bye carries it in. And Utah fighting for that. That was Litzinger fighting for it, and she sends it back towards the net. And Horning decides to just go ahead and jump on that one. She's going to hang on to it. We'll have a face-off. 2 minutes to the left of Air Force's goalie, Horning. But we're all good now. Puck ends up in the corner. Mosher digs for it in the corner. Send it back in deep to her teammate, McConaughey. Utah comes.
That might have caught Horning in a place where there isn't pads. It looks like her side there.
Ooh.
And she
had to slide across. She had to slide across in a hurry because she had to follow that centering pass, that cross.
Yeah, that's probably one of the worst things as a hockey player is getting hit with the puck.
Pad. Yeah, missing the pad.
That misses a pad.
And you would think as a goalie there wouldn't be a place.
Players taking slap shots and wrist shots at them.
Absolutely.
And, in the NHL and in professional women's hockey, those shots are coming in well over 80, 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's especially when you take them straight out of the freezer before a puck drop, they are not the thing you want to get hit with.
Right. Goalies didn't wear face masks.
Right. And when they did, it was just a thin sheet of plastic when they first started.
Right. Absolutely.
We've come.
So I'm curious, Patrick. This is my first season with the broadcast.
Steve, I do not remember from the previous year, but There is. I don't know if that all teams might make the playoffs. I could be wrong on that, but Utah did. Actually, I could have not. I remember there was a big series at home.
So it wasn't a
towards the end of the year.
guarantee.
Right. So there is a way you do qualify now.
Difference, like how you qualify between women's one, men's one, and men's two is a little different for each. For 7 teams that are registered in the WWCHL, which I think is down one team, affected the qualifications. And I don't know how they're qualifying, like if the WWCHL has its own set of rankings, like the men's D1 has their own set of rankings.
It's pretty difficult to find info by the end of this broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, the ranking I have, right, is that right now Utah is ranked 21st, just the teams in the WWCHL. They're 5 out of those 7 teams. But like I said, that's just kind of crunching some numbers. That's totally unofficial.
It's a little bit hard to gather information on the league here, but we will try.
3 seconds left in the period. Period winding down. Utah controls in their own zone. Down, she drops the pass off to Hansen. Hansen skates around. Sounds with Utah leading Air Force 6-1 at the end of the first period. We will take a short break, and folks, go ahead.
And right before we do take a break, I just found it now on their Twitter page, but 2 years ago when Utah, so basically the last full season of the WWCHL, the top 4 teams out of 6 qualified for the playoffs. And so if there is still 6 or 7 teams somewhere in there, I would believe it would still be champion in WWCHL, and I believe they get an auto bid to nationals
to nationals
for the ACHA.
if they win the tournament, right?
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
And again, we're just speculating because we don't actually know, and it's been kind of 2 years, and things have gotten a little bit. There's been a gap, but anyway, we are going to take a quick break, and we will be back for the second period.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the home.
Welcome to Game Day Fun.
Anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear.
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
Our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the arts.
have no trap. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to real world experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might faint and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab it, walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get up and grab it, walk and see.
calling the Salt Lake Visitor Center. If you have any questions, please leave a message and we'll get back to you.
Hello! I tell you what, I'm just going to put you on speaker. All right, a little about me. I'm a bit of a phenomenal skier, so I want to take my family on a vacay, which is short for vacation. Hope you don't mind the abbreviations. I'm just short of time today, so I need to sort of hurry things along. Just a few simple questions for you. They call Salt Lake Ski City, but you do ski in the mountains, right? I'm just picturing myself skiing down the sidewalk there next to the shops. Knowing my luck, I'll do one of my big flips and end up in the traffic. So I don't want that to be the case. Look, I've got to go. You're really keeping me here. Although I will say, I'm going to see your Utah Jazz play a basketball game. And I've heard there's a couple of Australians in the team. So here's my question. Are they causing you any trouble? I just had a thought. The average snowfall near Salt Lake is 500 inches. If I was to utilise all of that to build a giant snow person, would that be majestic or a bit scary? Oh, hey, listen, just quietly. I'm a big family guy. You know that. I've told you that. But after a few days with them, I'm going to need a drink. That's legal, right? I hear Utah has the youngest population of any state. So if I was to head down to one of your hot rockin' clubs or a social event, would there be a youth person in there that might be able to explain Snapchat to me? My kids just won't do it. Now, I've heard there's a bit of a Sharks versus Jets rivalry between the skiers and the snowboarders. And if I made that movie, would you watch it? Oh, when was your last Yeti sighting? Are you getting all this, by the way? I'm assuming you can rewind. The Utah state bird is a California gull. I mean, even you've got to admit that is confusing. I guess that's more of a statement than a question, but still I thought I'd bring it up. Now, your Ski City Super Pass, I take it that's part of the Marvel Universe. If I get that, will people call me the Winter Soldier Man? I really wish you could see this. All right, well, this would be costing me, so I better go. Thanks for everything. Bye.
Hi, this is Beth from the Salt Lake Visitor Center calling you back to answer your questions. First off, yes, you can absolutely drink here. We'd prefer if you ski in the mountains, and I'm happy to call you Winter Soldier.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to
And welcome back, folks. We are getting ready for the second period of action here at Salt Lake City Sports Complex. Utah leads the Air Force 6-1. And boy, they really poured it on, I would say, in the second half of that first period, huh, Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, Air Force scored on Utah. It was a really nice, beautiful goal, and it was fault of the Utah defense as they caught them sleeping, and Air Force got a breakaway. And so Utah, I'm sure the coaching staff wasn't happy about that one, and so they bounced back and they responded quickly. And
go ahead.
And yeah, I mean, looked pretty good at the end of that second period there. We still have 40 minutes to play, so a lot of game left for Utah to continue to not lay it on in a way, but just kind of focus on the fundamentals. And while you are playing a team, not one of the best teams in the league, that doesn't mean anything. You could be playing the best team or the worst team, and you need to be doing the fundamentals correctly. So they're going to be focusing on that this period for sure, and just trying to move that puck around, as I've been saying. Like there are opportunities that Utah has passed on some open shots because they weren't the shots they wanted. That's kind of what I want to see from Utah. Is I want them to find the shot that they want and the shot that they, the high percentage shots that they should be taking.
Right, not to panic and just huck the puck off because it's like you got a little pressure on. And I think it's also important to point out that you'd mentioned we've got all these home games. We've got 2 tough home series coming up against Arizona State and Colorado State. And if we just mess around in this game, we're not going to be prepared for those
Absolutely.
teams when they come to town.
Arizona State is ranked inside of the top 15 currently, and they are a very good hockey team. They always put something together really special down there in Tempe. So it'll be exciting to play them at home. I remember even 2 years ago when Utah had a very short bench, they even gave Arizona State a game. So very exciting times to be a University of Utah women's hockey team fan. Moving forward, I mean, the next 3 weeks, including this weekend, they're home. Nice long homestand.
Right, nice long homestand. And I should point out, I think Air Force is, it's good that you reminded me that this is their first year as an organization, because they've got some skills there.
They
but
do.
They really are just not quite gelled together yet. They don't really kind of have a team identity yet.
Not quite, and there's nothing wrong with that, because you could say the exact same thing about this Utah women's team as well. They had a lot of fight in their first season, and yeah, a lot of games didn't go their way, as you're seeing with Air Force. But just starting the program in a way is the hard part. Now that they have it, building it is going to come a little bit easier. And not saying that it is an easy thing to do, but they will be able to build it.
They can have something to build on.
Right.
And I'm seeing glimpses of the skill
absolutely.
set.
I mean, that breakaway goal you saw, that's very skilled player putting that in the back of the net. I mean, you could tell that was a player who's been playing hockey their whole life. And Air Force moving forward, they can do exactly what Utah wants to do. I mean, if we were to go down there and ask them, what your goal is, they would say, well, we kind of want to follow your program in Arizona State and, grow from our humble beginnings and move forward and just, become a threat in the WWCHL. And you know what? As we're seeing with Utah, I mean, that could be as soon as next year for Air Force. I mean, Utah's bench looked the exact same as Air Force's right now. If we next time we get a shot of both benches, you'll see how short the Air Force bench is. That was Utah their first year, which was 2 years ago, before the COVID pause. And so, and now look at this. Utah's got a full bench. So
right.
Air Force moving forward, I mean, they very well could be a big threat in the WWCHL, and even just next year or the year after that.
Right. So, things, it's always tough in the beginning, but, you have something to build on. There's always something you can build on.
Absolutely. And I mean, and the most important thing is that these players are having fun. And I talked to some people who know the Air Force program here and there, and they're saying these girls are still having fun, which is absolutely awesome to see, because not a lot of people enjoy losing games and not being in games, but if you're having fun, that's honestly all that really matters.
Right.
Hockey's a game. It's all that's all it is. It's a game. It's
right.
not a competition.
Absolutely.
It's a game that we all love to play.
Absolutely. Oh, a nice shot there from the point by Samantha McCain. Nice slap shot. And Utah gets a goal at 17:25 in the second period.
Yeah, it looks like.
And again, this is Horning's first game playing in goal for Air Force. Now, I did look up the team before the game, and I know she's been on the roster, but I haven't seen her actually playing. So this is her first game, first time, first start, first game playing.
So right
she
there,
has no stats prior to today.
You see Caps right there. She had a breakaway, and she didn't shoot it. She actually went behind the net, and she's cycling the puck around. This is a perfect example of what I was just talking about. She very well could have taken a shot on that breakaway and put that put that puck glove side there on Horning, but the shot honestly wasn't anything too special, even though it was a breakaway. She kind of had the wrong angle, and so she cycled it around. Very high hockey IQ play right there from Caps.
Yeah, and again, I mean, these are the kinds of things that they're going to have to sharpen up right now for when they face the Arizona State and they face the Colorado State. You know, the Rams, the Sun Devils, and the Rams.
Absolutely. I mean, again, you have some very talented teams moving into Salt Lake these next couple of weekends, and it doesn't matter who you're playing. Like I had said earlier,
it's not beer league where everybody says, "Hey, it's your turn to shoot."
Yeah, I mean, this is collegiate hockey, folks. This is big time. So, yeah, you play every team the same way, and if you don't, you lose games that you should be winning.
All right, so Utah controls an Air Force's zone, and the puck finally trickles out, and Erin Firth sends it all the way to the point, and she sends it back in deep.
I think if Firth was.
And that was Firth again, who picked up the loose puck, skates it across the low slot, and another top shelf goal for Firth. That's her second.
I was about to say, I think that's her second of the game, but she also, she's one of the best players on this Air Force team. I mean, you can see from the corner, she just tried dishing a really nice centering pass in the slot to a player who was open, and the pass was too hot for the Falcons stick their
really
talented player.
impresses me how well she skates. She looks like it's effortless, but she's skating really fast. Her speed is really fast, but it looks effortless the way she skates. All right, 15:58 in the second period, and Air Force gets her second goal. Stevenson takes it in herself and has a shot. Nice glove save by Horning. My eyes are bad now. Sorry about that, folks. All right, so Valerie Stevens gets the goal at 15:54 in the second period. And we're back to center ice for the drop. Interesting, the referee is having a little chat with the Utah bench. And off we go, Utah controls. Dickman carries it in, behind the net. Stevenson fighting for it in the corner. I'm sorry, that was Howell. My apologies. The 10 and the 18, I get them mixed up, and the gals' hairs makes it kind of hard to see the nameplates. All right. In Utah's zone, digging for the puck in the corner. Dickman comes up with it, skates it around. She skates it across the circle, centering pass to the high point. Oh, and then Howell loses the handle. Let's go for a line change. So she dumps it off to Cruikshank. Oh, diving save there, and now Stevenson there trying to keep the puck in the zone.
I guess because this league didn't have a season last year, I guess you can say Cruikshank's still coming off of an all WWCHL honor from her first season.
That's right. She went at the WWCHL tournament. She won. Was it player of the tournament player? Player of the tournament?
I think from what I see here is she was named part of the all WWCHL team at the end of the year. As you can see, Cruikshank, as we probably pulled up here on our computer, she's
yes.
the lone Ute on the list there. But
and she's
very
currently
talented player.
She's currently the high scorer for the Utes as well. Despite having missed two of the homestands, I believe she had to sit out for a COVID protocol, and she's still leading the team in points.
Yep, I mean, tells you how much of an impact she makes on this team, and obviously one of the more talented players on this team, and even in the conference.
All right, Utah controls in the Air Force zone. Oh, and the puck gets away. It's going to go all the way to the other end. Griswold stops it. Weber sends it around her own board. Still trying to get it. Now we go through the neutral zone. Sends it up to Michael. She carries it across the blue line on the right wing. Fighting for the puck. Boy, is a tough defender there by Air Force. Actually takes the puck. That might have been Firth again. She's a little further away. Yeah, that gal's got some really good stick handling skills. All right, and Bai sends it in. Horning decides to just squeeze it. And we're going to have a face-off in the Air Force zone. Team's getting a little rowdy, banging on the boards there. Encouraging their goalie.
I like to see that.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's just wonderful to watch women's hockey. Like these young women just competing on the ice, playing hard. You know.
It's awesome to watch.
Competing, skating, fun to watch. Plyer picks it up. sends it behind the net.
Lucky enough to get the Olympics this year and get to see some high-level women's hockey at the Olympics. And honestly, some of those games are even more exciting than the men's hockey events.
Oh, the
at
U.S.
Olympic
women's
Games.
team won world championships long ago. I used to make that joke that Tony Granato's sister Cammie had a world championship long before he ever did.
And there's it's actually interesting tidbit. There is a player from, I shouldn't say my hometown because Chicago's a big city, but someone that lives about 5 minutes away from me who was on the women's national team.
Really?
For
currently on the
currently,
women's
yep.
team. Wow.
Who just qualified. It'll be her first time going to the Olympics. So
fantastic.
cool to see that. It'll be a very fun team to watch this year, as they always are. I mean,
you get to root for like one of your hometown gals. That's going to be fantastic.
It's pretty cool to see just how the women's team is in the United States is honestly, I would argue, better than the men's team. And they're in games. They're giving Canada a run for their money every single year.
Yeah, no, the women's hockey team has long been well known as an international powerhouse for a long time. All right, we got a delay of penalty coming up, which means that as soon as Air Force comes up with the puck, we're going to have a penalty coming up. It's going to be against Air Force. It's going to be tripping. We just don't know quite who it is yet. And the line officials are talking to Air Force player. Who's going to go? All right. So Air Force is going to have to skate shorthanded for the next 2 minutes. The penalty is going to be on number 21, Eris Butler, for tripping. And there's going to be a face-off to Horning's right. Hallie's taking it for Utah. And for Air Force, can't quite see her number, so I'm not sure who took it. Oh, that was Aaron Firth. All right, slap shot from the point by Pimentel. Goes wide. Caps scoops it up. Oh, she tries to drop it in, and then Firth pokes it loose. It's going to be a race, and Firth has got the puck. She skates in on Griswold. Nice save by Griswold. Puck comes back out. Hansen has it along the boards. She gets it poked loose by Deans. Still fighting for it there by the boards. And finally, Hansen picks it up, skates through her own zone, sends it up to Plyer. Plyer across the blue line on the left wing. She skates it in, sends it behind the net. Caps picks it up. Puck ends up along the boards. She sends it up to the point. From the point, that's Howell. Sorry, that's Stevenson. I'm going to get 18 and 10 mixed up all night. I'm so sorry. And Stevenson picks it up again at the point on the left side. She sends centering pass to Hansen, who can't quite handle it, ends up in the corner. So Utah's setting up their power play now. 1 minute left still in the power play. 11 minutes, 14 seconds left in the second period. And Hansen skates it in herself, and she sneaks it in that near post between Griswold and the near post, and it's a power play goal for number 11, Hallie Hansen. 11 minutes, 7 seconds left in the second period. And of course that means that Butler will come out and Air Force will be back to full strength.
I almost had a shorthanded goal there.
Yeah, with Firth's breakaway.
Skated it right in.
All right, Michael scoops up the puck behind the net, and then Air Force pokes it loose, sends it through neutral zone. She's got it in the corner. She's trying to send it up to her teammate up there. And Michael gets it, sends a pass, nice pass up to Cruikshank, but Cruikshank gets tied up. Puck goes wide of the net. Dickman picks it up, sends it into the corner to Michael, sends back to the corner. Air Force deflects it out. And right there for the deflection is number 26, April Walton, is right there, standing there by that far post, pokes it in, and that's another goal for Utah at 10:03 in the second period. Score is 8-2 Utah. And I believe this year,
Yeah, Utah was able to host it the first year they joined the conference here in Salt Lake City.
yeah, that would be something to look forward to again, is when our turn comes around. Hosting the tournament here.
I'd say it was a pretty successful tournament. That was actually right before COVID blew up. It was
Blew up.
about
Was
about
that your
3
first
weeks
year?
before. That was
First year with
that
the
was my
team, too?
first year broadcasting with the team. Yeah, so I was actually doing those games, and it was a really exciting tournament. A lot of fans traveled from all over the conference to come in. The fans coming from the Phoenix area, the Boulder and the Denver area for the Colorado and Arizona State, I believe, who were in the championship. And obviously the Utah hometown fans were
Out in
were
force.
here. Yeah, they didn't have to travel very far.
All right, Utah controls off the face-off. Hanson carries it down the line, across the blue line. She's got 2 defenders on her. Puck ends up behind the net. She scoops it up, falls up, scoops it up herself. Centering pass, deflection. Right there is Stevenson there for the deflection.
Nice active.
Oh, I'm sorry, Howell
It was a good
for the deflection.
active stick by Horning to break up that play and even save a goal.
Yeah, that was very heads-up play. Very proactive. Horning's doing pretty well. She's really holding her own.
Made a couple of big saves here and there.
Well, and she's, you know, I mean, there are a couple of sneak by her, but she's covering the angles actually pretty well. Okay, puck ends up deep in the Utah zone. Weber back there scoops it up, sends it along the boards. I'm sorry, Baker. Up to Litzinger. Litzinger's got it, trying to center it, but she's hits a bunch of skates and bounces back out. Air Force is trying to clear the zone. Bly picks it up. She skates it across the circle. She sends a shot in, and from the circle, on the near post between between Horning and the post, and Utah scores goal number 9 at 8 minutes, 10 seconds in the second period. And now you can see that Air Force's shorthanded roster is starting to really tell. They're starting to break down, and you know they're running out of gas, I think.
I mean, not having a long bench, it really does kill you. I mean,
It does.
I mean, I remember Utah, their first year. I mean, they would start to lose gas right around this time.
And now we have a centering pass to Tori, number 22. She knocks it in. But I think, what's people don't realize the shifts are short, but man, you're going all out. And when you have a short bench, you already start running out of gas.
Yeah, I mean, you're in and you're right back out there, and it's not easy to do. And I would say the altitude gives them an advantage, but these players are coming from Colorado, where they might even
Air
be
Force
higher up.
isn't Air Force also at altitude?
Yeah,
Air Force
so
Academy
that-
altitude.
We usually say that, but if anybody has the advantage, it
Although you know, it may be the Olympic ice might be
actually,
harder for them too,
right.
because we have Olympic ice versus the NHL collegiate NCAA standard. So our ice is actually 15 feet wider, I believe. Same
Right,
length, but
right.
15 feet wider.
And yeah, that's, I mean, when you, just some basic math, that adds a lot more area to the ice. So
Yep.
that's a lot of ice to cover, and it adds up.
All right, Utah controls in their zone. Shot gets deflected wide. That's by McCain. And Utah keeps it in. Still keeps it in. Pimentel with it. She skates straight up the slot. Nice save by Horning. She decides to squeeze it. And they're going to have a face-off to her left. 7 minutes, 7 seconds left in the second period. Utah leads Air Force 12-2. And the shots on goal are really starting to pile up for Utah, against Horning for Utah. 22 shots on goal for Utah, 8 shots on goal by Air Force. And in the face-off for Utah, Howell is going to take the puck, take the face-off against, I'm going to guess that's Erin Firth. She seems to be their center.
Yeah, it's 27 down there, so it would be Firth.
Yep, that's Firth. And pucks comes loose, and Air Force controls. That's Madison Hunt. She sends it around the boards to Deans. Deans managed to clear it up to Firth, who loses the handle on it, gets past her. And they're scrambling for it. Dean's there with it, and finally Utah manages to carry it across the blue line. And now Howell carries it across Air Force blue line on the left wing. And she starts a cycle with McCain. Ooh, one-timer McCain hits somebody right in the back and bounces back out. Puck ends up behind the net. Hunt's chasing after it. Pliers chasing after it. Back to Caps, back to Deans. And now Bai in the point sends it up to Plier in the corner. She tries to send it behind the net. She does. Tries a little wraparound centering pass, goes all the way through, so Bai gets it, retrieves the puck at the point. 6 minutes, 12 seconds left in the period. Puck ends up behind the net. Plier ends up with it. She sends it into the corner for Caps. Caps sends back out to the point to Bai. Bai back to Caps. Caps skates it across the slot. Back to Bai. To Plier, who's standing kind of behind the goal line off to the side.
The Falcon defense holding their own here.
They're trying not to get sucked in.
Yeah, I mean, they're honestly not. They stand tall. They stayed home, and they were collapsing the proper way. That's a good defensive sequence there from the Air Force
Yeah, they really
Academy.
shut down any open lanes for Utah. All right, here comes Crookshank, skates across the circle, and she tries a centering pass, but it goes off a skate. And Madison Hunt comes up with it, and she sends it up ahead and deep into the Utah zone. Bai goes in there to scoop it up behind her own net. Start the breakout. 5 minutes, 19 seconds left in the second period. And here comes Crookshank. She carries across the blue line herself through the circle. Nice wrist shot. Horning makes a save. Deans picks up the deflection. She carries it herself across the neutral zone, but she doesn't have a lot of help. Here they come. She carries across the blue line. She does a nice centering pass. And Griswold decides to break it up. She jumps on it. We're going to have a face-off in the Utah zone. 4 minutes, 59 seconds left. Utah leads Air Force 12-2. And it looks like both teams going to take advantage of the stop to have a line. Kathleen Hughes facing off against Hanson. And Utah finally comes up with it. They manage to clear the zone. Air Force fighting for it. Deans pokes it back in. And here comes the puck back into the Air Force zone deep. Hanson goes back there, sends a centering pass to Plier, who goes for a backhand, gets deflected, and then Hanson follows up and knocks the second deflection into the goal. At 4:37, Utah scores goal number 13. It's kind of unfortunate for Horning because she got the first deflection, but she just couldn't handle the second one.
Yeah, it's not an easy job to play goaltender, and she gets some unfortunate luck there.
And Plier is she's a big girl, so she's hard to clear out of the crease for the Air Force defense. She's quite tall, and she's a very strong skater. You're not going to move her out of that crease easily, so it's going to be hard for them to clear her out of there. All right, Utah controls the puck in Air Force zone, cycling along the boards. Dickman carries it all across into the circle. Ends up in the corner, skates it back behind the net. Looking to set up the play. Air Force is spread out again, staying home, doing a good job of defending. And nice poke check there by Air Force. And that looks like that's Dindorf. She's off to the races, but she gets it poked loose by Dickman. And that looks like 20. Sorry, I couldn't quite see the Air Force player fighting for the puck there. As Roberts was poking for it. Still fighting for the puck. Puck ends up in the neutral zone. Utah controls. Dickman starts the play. She drops it off to McCain. McCain now has a wide open eye. She carries across the blue line herself, but she kind of whiffs on the wrist shot. It goes wide. Litzinger scoops it up in the corner. Nice centering pass, but a little bit too much bounce on it, so Tori's got to go chase it off, and she carries it back into the corner. She carries it behind the net, looking for that centering pass. Litzinger's right there for a deflection. Dickman gets a chance in the middle slot, but she gets a little bit tied up. Litzinger goes after it. Sends it deep. Now Dickman's got it behind the net. And Utah's spreading themselves out, trying to get the open slot. Dickman skates all the way across the inside low slot, practically in the crease. Horning just jumps on it and stops break. Out shooting Air Force 30 shots on goal to 10. Horning's really getting a workout.
She's, like we said, the lone goaltender for this team, so she still has quite a bit of game left to play, but
You know, and that wears out a goalie too when you're
Absolutely.
you're the only goalie and you're facing that many shots. All right, Gracie Caps jumps on a loose puck, skates down into the corner. 2 minutes, 36 seconds left in the second period. Nice pass from the high bound, and Firth gets a hat trick. Firth picked up that long rebound, so Griswold kind of let that one bounce out a little too far. She was squared up, but Firth just took it and just, again, top shelf. That gal's got skills.
unbelievable shot. She's got a really, really nice shot, and we've seen that actually for all three of her goals.
Very quick release. She had a really quick release
Many
on
players
that shot.
really envy that, and they you can see it there from Firth. I mean, beauty of a shot.
It's interesting. She is another Colorado gal, so not sure if she grew up with brothers who played hockey or played on the Pee Wee boys team, but man, she's got some skills.
I mean, yeah, hockey for sure, a very popular sport on the Front Range there, especially in that Denver area. I mean, been pretty popular there for quite a long time. I mean, the growth of the Colorado Avalanche and the NHL have really jump-started, the process there, and a lot of Olympic hockey tryouts, that sort of thing happen
Right.
in Colorado Springs, where the U.S. Olympic Committee is based. So hockey alive and well there over on the Front Range.
Well, and they've got the two colleges, the two universities with strong hockey programs.
Absolutely.
The University of Colorado and Colorado State.
And then University of Denver, one of the best
Right.
hockey programs at the NCAA men's Division I level, which is top of the top best college hockey in the country, and they send a lot of players to the NHL.
Yes, they definitely have players who end up in the NHL. 1 minute, 9 seconds left in the period. And puck ends up in the corner. Hansen finally digs it out. She's going for a little wraparound action. She skates through the circle, passes it off to Baker, it looks like, who loses the handle on it, and Madison Hunt now has a chance on one-on-one with a defender. She tries centering it, gets poked loose. Michael scoops it up.
Waited a little bit too long there. She had a 3-on-1.
And then she lost the angle.
Falcons said, yeah, Falcons just lost that angle, but a good chance nonetheless for Air Force.
Yeah, I agree with you. She hung on a little too long, and then she kind of lost the angle on it. All right, here comes Firth across the blue line, and she flings it in there, and Griswold's got it all the way. 26 seconds left in the period. Gonna have a quick face-off to Griswold's left. Griswold's also done a very good job.
She's had herself a good night so far.
And we haven't seen her at home as much. We've seen Sarah more, and I think it's just a matter of timing, because you look at the minutes, they're pretty even up, the two of them. They're kind of like taking, they're
Split
like
time, yeah.
splitting time.
And the goaltender coach,
Rodney
Stutt, making sure that Samantha and Sarah are well prepared for game days, and you'd be hard pressed to find. Actually, I shouldn't say that, because I guess our boss is a goaltenders coach as well. But I say you're hard pressed to find a better goaltenders coach here in Utah. But
we actually seem to have a wealth.
Yeah, AJ Bolden also works out.
Oh my
with
goodness!
the goalies at the men's
Somebody
team.
threw a soccer ball on the ice. Hey, folks, that's not cool. All right.
It's a wrong sport.
Yeah, and just throwing things on the ice. You know what? Somebody's going to get hurt.
Absolutely. I mean, this is also still a. Not that people here would be listening to us, but that can result in your ejection from the facility. I mean,
You could actually.
the same way you wouldn't do that at a Major League Baseball game or an NHL game, you shouldn't do it here.
Right. All right, we go to the end of the second period. Utah leading Air Force 14-3. We're going to have one more period of play for you folks, but we're going to take a little break, and we will be right back.
and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the home
Welcome to game day fun.
anything could last. But if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the arts.
top, no trip. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to Real World Experiences.
We can go to the bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might faint and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab and walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get up and grab and walk and see.
Thanks for calling the Salt Lake Visitor Center. If you have any questions, please leave a message and we'll get back to you.
Hello! I'm just short of time today, so I need to sort of hurry things along. Just a few simple questions for you. They call Salt Lake Ski City, but you do ski in the mountains, right? I'm just picturing myself skiing down the sidewalk there next to the shops. Knowing my luck, I'll do one of my big flips and end up in the traffic. So I don't want that to be the case. Look, I've got to go. You're really keeping me here. Although I will say, I'm going to see your Utah Jazz play a basketball game. And I've heard there's a couple of Australians in the team. So here's my question. Are they causing you any trouble? I just had a thought. The average snowfall near Salt Lake is 500 inches. If I was to utilise all of that to build a giant snow person, would that be majestic or a bit scary? Oh, hey, listen, just quietly. I'm a big family guy. You know that. I've told you that. But after a few days with them, I'm going to need a drink. That's legal, right? I hear Utah has the youngest population of any state. So if I was to head down to one of your hot rockin' clubs or a social event, would there be a youth person in there that might be able to explain Snapchat to me? My kids just won't do it. Now I've heard there's a bit of a Sharks versus Jets rivalry between the skiers and the snowboarders. And if I made that movie, would you watch it? Oh, when was your last Yeti sighting? Are you getting all this, by the way? I'm assuming you can rewind. The Utah state bird is a California gull. I mean, even you've got to admit that is confusing. I guess that's more of a statement than a question, but still I thought I'd bring it up. Now, your Ski City Super Pass, I take it that's part of the Marvel Universe. If I get that, will people call me the Winter Soldier Man? I really wish you could see this. All right, well, this will be costing me, so I better go. Thanks for everything. Bye.
Beth from the Salt Lake Visitor Center calling you back to answer your questions. First off, yes, you can absolutely drink here. We'd prefer if you ski in the mountains, and I'm happy to call you Winter Soldier.
Welcome to the
And welcome back, folks. We are nearly ready to start the third period. These same two teams are going to meet up tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow we got a triple bill, so come on down. If you're not going to settle down and watch on YouTube, you ought to come down to the Salt Lake City Sports Complex. Your one ticket for that game gets you into all three games, so you can come for the women's game and stay for the men's D1. They're going to be playing University of Colorado. And then you can stay again for the men's D2. They're going to face Utah in-state rival, Utah Valley University. So, 3 for the price of 1.
And we know you're not doing anything because I can tell you from experience that the ski conditions aren't great right now.
Oh, man, we are so dry this year. It's been like we had one good snowfall, and that was kind of it.
But, yeah, skiing's not good, so come see some hockey. The hockey's going to be good.
And every seat's a good seat in the house,
Absolutely.
You've got a great view. It's a great venue. It's very close, convenient. There's plenty of parking on the weekends. And we're off. Starting the third period. And Grace Cruikshank gets a start off right away in the third period. Not even a minute into the first period. Minute into the third period with another goal for Utah. Utah controls in the Air Force zone. Oh, and a centering pass to Baker, and there's nothing Horning could do about that one. Baker was parked right there where she should be, just outside the crease. And now it's 16, Utah 3, Air Force, 18:57 left in the third period. And one thing that's important to remember is that realize that, we're scoring a lot of goals, but the goals count towards rankings. So you don't want to just play the mercy rule because a couple of goals might end up being the difference of whether you qualify for nationals or not.
Right, and so just for folks who don't know, just to get a little explanation on what Anita just said. So the rankings, ACHA does top 15 rankings for the women's and then top 25 for the men's. Kind of similar to how the AP does football and basketball. However, what's not similar in that regard is it's not actual voters making votes. It's a computer-generated formula that takes into account goal differential, obviously wins, and a couple other different elements into that. So that's why you see teams running up the score on bad opponents, because it could bump you up literally, as Anita just said, in the league standings so that you qualify. Because I don't know if Anita was mentioning this, but I think we mentioned it earlier on the broadcast, but if you're in that top 15 bracket of teams, if you're in the ACHA top 15, the women's one division, you automatically qualify for the national tournament. So that's why it's so important to get goals and obviously not give up goals. And so Utah is not going to be happy about the 3 goals they give up to Air Force. I'm going to tell you that much. They're going to go in the locker room and say, hey, how can we shut this team out tomorrow? The Air Force is making it harder for Utah here to get that better goal differential.
Right, and Utah these last 6 games are crucial for Utah. They're sitting right now at 21 in the ACHA standings, right? So if they need those 6, they got to get ahead of those 6. Well, they got Colorado ahead of them. They got Arizona State ahead of them. They got, Colorado State is just behind them.
Right.
So these are teams where they're going to be very close in terms of win-loss, so they're going to need those points. And we already know Arizona State, racked up a bunch,
they racked up
a
bunch of goals in conference play, but if Utah can make a statement against Arizona State and beat them by a goal or 2, that transfers some of the ranking there, where Arizona State could be making up ground on Utah and getting up higher. Utah could be making up ground on them and push their way in. I mean, 21, folks, that's 21 to 15. That's nothing. That could be made up in the rest of the season. And Utah's pretty fortunate that they have a nice long homestand to hopefully rack up the goals.
Right. So, it does look like it's kind of crazy, the score, but those goals actually really count, especially in this very, very competitive Western WWCHL division that we're in.
Yeah, and that's why, you might say, like, oh, you shouldn't be running the score up. And I do agree with that to a point. If the rankings weren't done the way they were and teams weren't needing wins the way they need them in this league, I would agree with that. But in a situation like this, goals are most definitely needed to make your team ranked higher in those ACHA standings.
And we have a delayed penalty coming up. So rather than pulling the goalie, she's just going to stay, and Utah is just going to try and keep the puck away from Air Force, and now Air Force has touched up. So somebody's going to be going to the box. Been a very clean game. We've only had
Very
the 2
clean
penalties.
game,
This is only
yeah.
the second penalty, and it's on Air Force.
The Air Force has taken both penalties so far. I guess you could say now we're in the evening, no longer the afternoon. But, yeah, a very clean game. That's going to be a body check against the Falcons. Looks like it's going to be on
Madison Hunt, number 20.
Hunt, yep, for
And that's another thing about the women's hockey is that, you know, unlike men's hockey, you can't just take 2 steps and do a full body check. So, you know, it's still plenty physical.
right. Oh, absolutely.
But you
Not to
actually
say-
can't get a 2-minute minor for actually doing a full body check, which is what this penalty was. Looks like Dean's skating down hard. Is that Dean? I mean, Kathleen Hughes, sorry, number 8. Kathleen Hughes had a chance trying to backhand. She didn't quite get all of it, and so the puck kind of skittered wide.
She was utilizing her speed there.
Right, she got a chance. She got ahead of her defender, but couldn't quite. And here comes Katie Plyer, bringing it down behind the net in the Air Force zone. She's looking to cycle it off to Hansen in the corner, who sends it off to Dickman, who sends it all the way across. Nice one-timer by Walton. I think that's April Walton. I can't quite see her number. And puck still stays in the Air Force zone. Oh, and she managed to keep it in. Good job. Dickman with a one-timer. Goes wide. And Air Force managed to get the puck out of the zone, so Utah's going to have to let it go. And she does. Utah retrieves it in the neutral zone. The other thing that I wanted to mention, and I apologize for mentioning it so late, folks, but we now have live stats during the game, which is our game center. If you go to the UtahHockey.com website and you click on the schedule and you click on the date of the game, if you go all the way to the right-hand column of the schedule, you can actually click on what they call Game Center, and there's a category of stats, and you can actually watch the live stats. You can, as the game's being played, and best of all, they stay there. They're evergreen, so you can always go back and look at past games and look up stats. It's a really nice feature that's been added this year by our hardworking tech team at Utah Hockey.
Nice feature. If you obviously you should be watching us, obviously, right? But in all seriousness,
You can watch us and look at the stats.
If you can't watch us, if you're out and about, pull up Safari on your phone or Google Chrome and look up University of Utah Hockey, and like Anita said, you find the schedule, click on the Game Center, and you'll get almost as if it was on the NHL app, live stats.
All right, so the power play is over. Utah did not score on the power play, and Air Force effectively killed the penalty. So they're back to full force. We're skating back 5-on-5, 14:21 left in the period. And there goes Deans chasing after the puck in her own zone. She sends it up along the ice, still fighting for it though. Puck stays in. And Howells tries to scoop it up, and it gets retrieved by Air Force. But Howell scoops it up in the neutral zone. She sends it back to her defender, the Ute defender, who is, sorry, can't see your number. McCain sends it up, bounces it up into the neutral zone. Puck's kind of just bouncing around, and then Hunt manages to scoop it up just inside the blue line. Her shot gets deflected. Howell fighting for it. Hunt fighting for it. We've got Utah and Air Force both fighting for the puck in the corner there. Pimentel comes up with it, and the puck squirts loose. And Tori's got a chance. She managed to carry it across the blue line, but boy, she's getting fought hard by an Air Force defender. That is Butler fighting hard for that puck. She actually managed to poke it free. And Air Force clears their zone. 13 minutes, 15 seconds left of the period, and they send it a little bit too far. So we have icing, and the puck's going to come all the way back to the Air Force zone. They're going to have a face-off. 2 Hornings left, and Horning, man, she has been working hard this game.
She's seen a lot of action so far.
A lot of action. All right, in the face-off for Utah, it's going to be Caps. Utah controls. Baker sends it in. I'm sorry, Weber sends it in. And then Cap sends it back to the corner. Centering pass. Oh, gets deflected all the way to the other side. Hansen digs it out. She skates it across. She tries a drop pass. Caps picks it up in the corner. She sends it along behind the boards. She's going for a centering pass. Oh, it hits a bunch of skates. And it finally squirts out of the zone. Weber has to pick it up. She sends it back along the boards. Caps drives in there into the corners, picks it up. Cycling, and oh, the puck gets loose. So Stevenson has to regroup and restart the breakout from the neutral zone. By sends it up to Hansen. Hansen's got 2 defenders hanging all over, and we have a penalty.
Another body checking penalty.
Another body checking penalty. I didn't see that particular one. It just looked like she got kind of hung up. It almost looked more like interference than a check. But nonetheless, we've got Madison Hunt back in the box for her second penalty of the game.
And not too long apart penalties. She was just in the box.
No, she was just in there. But still, only the 3rd penalty of the game. So, again, very clean game. So Utah goes on the power play. They have not scored. Oh, they scored on 1 power play. But out of the 3 power plays, they've only scored once. Dickman has it now at the blue line. She sends it across to the point. And that looks like Walton. Nope, sorry, that was By. And then Michael to... Oh, and then Howell tries a one-timer, but it kind of goes off the heel of her stick. I'm sorry, that was Dickman. Number 19, not number 18. Cruikshank scoops it up in the corner. Tries to send a pass to Plyer, but actually gets poke-checked loose. 1 minute, 15 seconds left in the power play for the Utes. Plyer skates it around through the circle, sends it out to the high point. Nice wrist shot from the high point by, and Horning looked like she got screened badly on that one. So it's a goal for Utah at 11:25 in the 3rd period. That's a power play goal for Utah. Utah now goes ahead 17-3 over Air Force. Another place I'd like to mention where you can follow your Utes is social media. Utah Hockey is very active on social media. The women's account is Utah W Hockey. Utah W Hockey, that's their Twitter handle. And on Instagram, same Twitter handle, same social media handle, Utah W Hockey. So you can follow the action. Twitter sends updates at the end of the periods. And they also post photos and pictures from the game. So check those out. Okay, puck is in the Air Force zone. Utah setting up their play. Howell in the corner. Gets poked loose by Air Force. That's Aaron Firth. And she carries it from behind her zone, and she starts to break out herself. She's got help. She's got good support. She carries across the blue line on the right wing. Gets poked loose. Looks like by Pimentel. And the puck ends up in the back, and Howell scoops it up behind her own net, sends it up along the boards to Burns. And now Walton's got a chance. She skates it in, and looks like that Horning actually got a piece of that, sends it a little bit wide. Puck stays in the zone. Cap skates in, retrieves the puck. She's got some good handling skills, good stick handling skills. Hallie scoops it up. She skates it, sends a nice little centering pass back and forth, a little tic-tac-toe, but Hallie's shot goes high. 9 minutes, 53 seconds left in the period and in the game. Another centering pass from Caps to Torrey. Back to Hansen in the corner. She's looking for someone. She skates it through herself. Skates it across the slot from the high slot. She sends it in. Nice little pass to Weaver, and Weaver is shaking her head because she lost the handle on it. She had an open net, but she couldn't quite handle the puck. She's going to want that one back. All right, Utah controls in their own zone. 9 minutes, 20 seconds left in the game, in the period. Stevenson carries it across the blue line, drops the pass to Hansen. Hansen skates it through the slot. She's trying to look for an opening, but too many defenders there. Air Force doing a really good job of keeping that slot clogged up so there aren't any shooting channels. But, oh, Tori's got a chance. She sends it out to Stevenson, who's there in the circle. She's looking around. Back to Caps, back to Tori. She drops it off. She takes it herself, skates across the slot. Ooh, nice poke check loose by Air Force. So Utah Dickman has to carry it into neutral zone to regroup. 8 minutes, 36 seconds left. And here comes Tori. She carries across the blue line. Down into the corner. She's looking for something. Carries it behind the net. All the way around, sends it back out to the point to Walton. Walton sends it back to the corner. Oh, a nice little poke check. Air Force sends it into the opposite corner. 8 minutes, 13 seconds left in the period. By controls in the neutral zone. Utah still leads Air Force 18-3, outshooting Air Force 39 shots to 12. And puck kind of comes loose. Michael scoops it up, skates it across the blue line on the left wing. Keeps skating, the nice little drop pass, but gets poked loose. Crookshank trying to get it. Bai picks it up in the corner. She drops it off. Utah getting their cycling going along the boards on that left side. Air Force finally managed to clear the puck out of the zone, and Dickman's got to go chase after it. In fact, Griswold's got to play it to keep it from trickling in. Dickman scoops it up, skates it through her own zone, sends it up into the neutral zone to Crookshank. She carries across the right wing, across the blue line. Nice centering pass to Michael. But nothing opening. Air Force defense holding up. Puck's bouncing around. Deans picks it up behind her own net, and now we're going to have a delayed penalty on Utah. Utah's first penalty of the game, and it's going to be tripping because she kind of hauled down Deans.
Looks like actually referee's making a body check.
Oh, body check. Okay, well, body check.
And Utah will go to the PK for the first time this evening.
And that's going to be Michael in the box for 2 minutes. She doesn't look too happy about that. I think she thinks Dean's just tripped on her own.
And
all right.
You know what? As much as obviously Air Force is out of the game, but in any sport, really, I mean, most players, it's obviously a team collective effort, but a lot of players also concerned about their individual stat line. So players like, Firth on this team who are putting together really nice seasons are going to continue to show out and play every single minute of all of the 60 that are in every single game, and it's because, she's putting together a season where she can be on that all WWCHL first team. So, while it is a team sport, there are some individual aspects of it, and when sometimes your team isn't playing the best on any given day, all the players are still playing as hard as they can because they want to make that stat line look good, and they want coaches to be like, yeah, you know what, you played good tonight, even though we might have lost by a lot, but you're going to get more minutes.
And I think we need to give some kudos to the entire Air Force team. They are shorthanded, they are short-benched, and they haven't given up at all.
And they
haven't given. That penalty came because that Deans did not give up on the puck, and she ended up going down, but she wasn't going to give up on the puck, and she is clearly a smaller player than Michael.
Right. I mean, this is actually the second time I've seen this Air Force women's team. When I traveled with the Utes down to Tempe at Arizona State, I saw them playing before the Utah game. And, I mean, Arizona State was beating them by, I think it was at least 20 goals, but they were still out there having fun and laughing and enjoying it, which is all that matters. And it's really fun to see that even in a season that might not be going your way, you're still having fun, you're making the most out of it because you're still out here playing the game that we all love to play.
Right, they're not
hockey.
Just quitting and saying, you know what, I give up. I'm out here, but what's the point? We got 39 seconds left in the Utah penalty.
And, when Air Force does turn the corner in a couple of years and become one of the better teams in this conference, you'll look to the players who play on this team and say, yeah, they laid the foundation for what a program should be.
Right. Well, players like Aaron Firth are going to help attract other players to come who are going to want to come play with her.
Absolutely.
That was a nice little move by Dean, but she didn't quite hang on to the puck. 10 seconds left in the penalty against Utah. Puck is in Utah's zone. Air Force on the power play. Deans digs it out, sends it all the way behind the net, and teams are back to full strength. 5-on-5. We've got 5 minutes left in the game, in the period. Utah leads Air Force 8. Nice little pass there from the top by Madison Hunt. Goes through a bunch of bodies. Griswold, nice stick save, sends it off to the side. 4 minutes, 48 seconds left. Utah leads Air Force 18-3. And Madison Hunt digs the puck out, sends it all the way around the boards to Deans. She managed to clear the zone. And Stevenson picks it up in the neutral zone. And they're starting some. Cruikshank now with it, crosses the blue line on the left side. She does a nice little drop pass to Caps. Caps skates it along behind the net. Now, oh, centering pass. I thought she was going to skip out of the net, but she fooled everybody. Puck's bouncing around loose in front of the goal, and Air Force clears it out. Stevenson recovers. Cruikshank skates it around, sends it around to Caps in the corner. Starting their cycle going. Caps skates it out to the high slot. And Stevenson tries centering pass. It's intercepted by Aaron Firth, who skates it down. She's 1-on-2, but man, they know not to like pinch too tight on her. Nice wrist shot that just goes wide. 3 minutes, 50 seconds left in the period.
There you see it again. I mean, a really nice shot from Firth right there. Lifts it right over the top of the crossbar.
Ooh, a little bit of a collision there in the Utah zone, but it looks like it was just that. No penalty. Caps picks it up, skates it across the blue line herself. Oh, she gets defended hard by two defenders and loses the puck. And now here comes Hunt. Oh, and then she coughs the puck up. Boy, the puck's bounced around the neutral. Oh, and then Hunt comes up with it. She skates across the blue line. She sends a shot in that goes wide. 3 minutes, 18 seconds left in the period. It's going to be a foot race. And Utah recovers it. I can't tell. I think that's Howell, 18. I believe that's Howell, 18. Fighting for it in the corner in the Air Force zone. Air Force picks it up. And that's Aaron Firth. She carries across the neutral zone by herself. Carries across the blue line. Oh, gets poke checked loose. And now it's going to be Bai who picks it up and skates it in to the Air Force. She tries a centering pass to Howell. Howell sends it back in behind the net. Dickman out to the point. Back into the corner. Utah's controlling. 2 minutes, 38 seconds left in the period. And then Air Force managed to poke it loose. Aaron Firth, I think Aaron Firth has been out there for 2 shifts. Aaron Firth sends it out to Dindorf. Dindorf sends it back to her. Now it's now in the Utah zone. Has a little something going, but it got broken up. 2 minutes.
I'm sure she's double shifted very much so tonight. I mean, obviously she's
fit
been
too.
all over the score sheet for Air Force. Oh yeah, this not having a lot of players will really knock your team into shape. I mean, every night's basically conditioning night, and this Air Force team, like I've been saying, they could be a force to be reckoned with come next year. They get a couple more players on this squad. They can have actual lines and make real line changes. They'll have some players that are already pretty well conditioned from this year, kind of like what happened to Utah. I mean, a lot of similarities.
Utah kind of had to go through their long, grueling year as well.
Absolutely.
And from that, they've managed to build the program up and recruit, a bench now that's very nice depth. We have very nice depth.
Full. I remember talking about earlier on the broadcast, and even to a point, where you're competing for an auto bid to nationals, which would be unbelievable for Utah to do in their second year of the program. Obviously, they'll be looking to make the playoffs as well for the WWCHL and just see where the season takes them and see if they can get the auto bid from winning it all or from getting the auto bid just from being in that top 15. So Utah, not too shabby of a second season for them.
Oh, all right. Another collision, but no penalty. We got just over 1 minute left in the period, and Air Force has not given up one iota. They haven't slowed down. Your Air Force hasn't even slowed down. I mean, I said they were running a gas second period, but boy, I tell you, they got their second win. This third period, they're still skating hard. All right. And they're just putting on full court press. They're not going to let Utah start anything. All right, Hansen gets it. She crosses the blue line on the right wing, skates it in across the middle. Looking for somebody to pass to. Now, Hansen's got 2 goals. Dickman's got 2 goals. Neither of them have their hat trick yet. See if they get that in the last 30 seconds of this game.
And there you go. One positive you could take away is those 2 players from Utah don't have a hat trick, but one player on Air Force does. So there's a positive, I guess, you could take away for Air Force.
Yeah, the 2 high scorers, whatever defensive strategy Air Force came up with, they shut down the one of the 2 top scoring forwards on the Utah team. Yeah. All right, down to 7 seconds. Maybe one last chance. Torrey hits somebody's shin guard, and the puck bounces back into the corner, and that's going to do it, folks. The buzzer sounds, Utah beats Air Force 18-3 after 60 minutes of play. Good, clean game. A lot of fun, actually. I mean, I realize the score was a blowout, but I tell you, this Air Force team was fun to watch.
Absolutely, and we've been saying it all night, but obviously it's not fun to lose games like this. And just to preface it, I mean, it's not easy to start a hockey team, obviously, no matter when you started. And Air Force came out to play, and that's all that matters. They had fun. And they'll be back here tomorrow for another game, and Utah coming out strong after that over 2-month break for their team. So really fun game tonight for Utah, and hopefully Air Force can come away with some talking points and come back tomorrow and play even harder. And kudos to Air Force, respect to them, and we'll see you tomorrow.
We will. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to come back tomorrow for the 1 p.m. game, women's game, right here at Salt Lake City Sports Palace. And coming up after this is going to be the men's D1 game against University of Colorado. Thanks again for listening, and we will be back shortly.